I'm back in Japan. I'm staying here out in the west of Tokyo in Tachikawa at my Obachan's place. This is the first video of a new season of Japan videos, I suppose. By the way, in case you're new here, hi, I'm Teo. I'm half British, half Japanese, which is why I actually have family here in Tokyo, which makes coming to Japan a bit easy for me, and so I get to stay here for longer periods of time, which is something I've been trying to do since last year. And so, just like last year, I'm here for 3 months until mid-November, and I'm really looking forward to sharing with you all the photography and other little adventures. Man, I'm getting stung by like 15 different insects. And so let's begin on this fine morning a couple weeks ago when I took the train into central Tokyo to a place called Nakano, which is the most densely populated place in all of Japan. I wanted to come here to capture the early morning in this part of Tokyo, where there is a decent mix of business-focused areas and more quiet residential areas. But first, let's get some breakfast. For my breakfast and then the beginning of my photo walk, I decided to come to this park in Nakano because I enjoy shooting in parks and I find it a bit easier, so I thought it would be a good place to warm up a bit before attempting to shoot in slightly more challenging areas, which, at least for me, are more difficult. This is pretty subjective, of course. Ohayou gozaimasu. It's early morning and I haven't had breakfast yet, so let's do that and then let's go shoot.
Last rodeo written on my back window. I've never tried this before.
Here I spotted an opportunity for my first shot. Here it is. Nothing special. It does feel a bit like a warm-up shot, playing with some symmetry and a small subject. I do really like the light though. Here I saw a potential photograph with the bicycle in the middle and the fence adding some structure to create a composition. I just waited a bit for someone to run into my frame to add a little something. This is the result. I really like how there are multiple people in frame in different spots of the composition, allowing the eye to wander around through the scene. Not sure if that worked. By the way, in case you're curious, my setup for this morning was my classic combination I always love to shoot with, my beloved Pentax K1000 with a 35mm 2.8 lens. And the film I was shooting is some freshly bought Fuji Color 100, which is my favourite Fuji color film. I hadn't shot this in a while because, well, you can't get this in Europe, but now here in Japan I am again falling in love with this film. Here I was walking up to the road to shoot a photo of the little van on the other side. I wanted to wait a little again for someone to come into frame and add some life to the scene. Here's the result. I really like this. I'm happy with the simple composition and the pretty light. A detail that I got lucky with that I really appreciate is how the person on the left is wearing a simple black and white outfit that matches the black-white look of the van. They seem to go well together within the scene, which I think adds a sense of harmony. I think it's about I walked around the park for some time but didn't spot anything particular that I wanted to capture until I came to the other side where I saw that guy sitting on the bench on the left. Something I love in Japan is how formally people dress here, which I think just makes photography easier for me because I think these people look smart and cool, and I don't feel like I'm portraying someone in a bad state that makes them look bad. In this case, I liked the contrast of the serious businessman look and the casual situation here of this person just comfortably sitting around in the park. This one is simple, I think it's nice, just playing around with composition and the placement of people in the frame. At this point, I decided to leave this area and head back closer to the station where the busier parts of Nakano are located, though they will probably not be very busy because it's full of bars and restaurants and it was only around 8 AM. As you can see, I had come to some streets that look vastly different to where I started. However, I just kept walking and couldn't really find a shot. And this is what I was referring to when saying that I find shooting in the park easier. I struggle to find shots when walking through these tight streets because I tend to like simple photos, not photographs full of chaos and no structure. And that's simply a little more difficult in tight spaces like here. This street, however, had some really pretty lighting and some action, so I decided to wait for someone to come into frame from either the left or the right side. Here's the result, and I like it. I enjoy how there are a couple people in the background, plus the main subject whizzing by on their bicycle.
That was really worth it. Clinic or something.
Free flowing, sailing with the wind, not knowing.
Then I spent another while just walking and walking without finding anything to shoot. I made it back to the station where I decided to go over to the other side of the station where the more residential area of Nakano begins. To get there, however, I first had to pass through this very interesting little street that I think is yet another bar street packed with little places that will probably come to life in the later hours of the day. Despite being intrigued by my surroundings, I at first didn't spot anything particular to shoot. However, as I was passing this street on my left, I thought I ought to get at least one shot of this cool place, and this street seemed pretty interesting with so much stuff going on again. Here's the result. While there isn't a specific subject that stands out, I think this photo works somehow. It feels a bit like a maze for the eyes to wander from detail to detail because this whole image is basically a collection of details. I think I actually like it. Here, I was in awe of the plants in front of this building and began wondering if there is any way I could photograph them. Instead of shooting a wide scene showing this one entrance that is full of greenery, I decided to go with a straight composition from the front, but go a bit close and really focus on the plants instead of trying to picture the whole scene. I think it worked out quite nicely. I love the poster with the two guys that strongly contrasts the rest of the scene and almost acts like a subject in the composition. Then, before we continue, I want to take a moment to thank the continued sponsor of the channel, Squarespace. Squarespace is an easy-to-use all-in-one website platform. I've been using Squarespace for my website for close to 5 years now, and I'm still so happy with it, mainly because it's so easy for someone like me who is certainly not a web developer. I use my Squarespace website as a portfolio where I showcase projects of mine. However, you can build pretty much anything on Squarespace, be it a simple blog or an online shop or a site for bookings if you're a freelancer. They will have what you need. I built my page by starting off with a template, which Squarespace offers a whole lot of, and then customizing the layout and design to my liking. This process has been so well optimized by them thanks to their drag and drop editor called Fluid Engine. I seriously love that they've created this tool that makes the process of being creative while making a website not feel slow or tedious, even though I'm a technical noob when it comes to web design. I really recommend that you try it out for yourself. You can head to squarespace.com for a 14-day free trial, by the way, and then when you're ready to launch your website, you can go to squarespace.com/TeoCrawford to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Thank you so much to Squarespace for continuously supporting my channel and my work here. I really appreciate it.
아리차게 저려오는 왼쪽 팔에 잠이 든 널 깨우고 싶지 않아.
In this photo, I quite like this split of two scenes in one shot.
또 한참을 굳어 있어 방구석처럼 내 곁에서 쉬게 해주고 싶은 이 마음 알까 조금은 서운해지곤 해 좀 더 얘기하고 싶었는데
I didn't like the two umbrellas before because they were overlapping. Just would have made the whole photo a bit sloppy. There we go.
보면서 지켜줄 수 있어 행복해 평생 800개가 돼줄게.
We'll have to see later if it's actually any good. Now, what on earth is this? Wow, yes, yes, yes. Imagine someone walking through here. So, is there any hope? Yes. Not the most interesting subject, but better than nothing. What a cute little path. Should we just do it without people?
Trusting your instincts, realize that knowing looks different to each. When living authentic, do more exploring, it's deeper than knowing just what is essential for
What are
life
ski boots
that
doing here?
is thriving. Go deep, mute out the chatter.
This is an example of a shot that I think didn't really work out that well. I was again fascinated by all the plants in front of the building and wanted to capture that wall as part of a scene. Ideally, in combination with a person walking in the scene to add some life to the photo. But this shot, I think, doesn't really work that well because the subject is not positioned that nicely, rather randomly I find. And also, shooting this person's back as they pass my frame just feels a little senseless. It doesn't really add anything, it just feels more like they happened to photobomb my shot. So that's why I don't think this one works. And that happens a lot, it's part of photography. I hope that sharing all the shots, the good, the bad, and all in between, somehow is helpful to you.
Removing performance, true self, all that's standing. Live free from worry.
Then I continued my walk and spotted this guy hanging out his bed sheets or something.
すいません。なんか光がいいんで写真撮っていいですか？いや、今してるものがなんかその光で切るから私日本の写真いっぱい撮ってて撮っていいですか？はい。ああ、すごいなんか自然で平和の感じする。ありがとうございます。
I'm really happy that I had the courage to just speak to this guy. This is something I'm actively practicing, and so I like this photo for that reason. However, photographically, this shot didn't really turn out that interesting, I'm afraid. It's alright, but also not really special, I think. Maybe it lacks in composition a bit? I'm not sure, honestly.
I wonder if that turned out to be anything. It was a sweet scene though.
This shot is also a bit random, I think. It's not terrible, but I was lagging a bit in the moment so that I didn't get the shot from the front, so I turned around to catch this guy in the pocket of light, but then I also missed that, so now I only have the back tyre of the bicycle in the light, and the moment I captured feels just a little too random in my opinion.
Pra poder ir trabalhar. Eu já sei remar contra a maré.
Right, we're back with the sun. Some people going through there. Could be a nice shot.
I was liking this junction here where people passed by regularly, and so I thought it would be cool to wait for an opportunity to shoot this scene with one or two people who could bring the shot to life. The result is not bad, I think. I like how there seem to be 3 points or 3 subjects filling the frame. The bicycle in front, the elderly person in the middle, and the cyclist at the back.
I think that worked. Maybe. Maybe it was too early.
Now, this one I think turned out pretty cool with all the action going on. And the cyclist coming into the street and the person on the left with the umbrella add so much life to the scene.
Out in the pale light where dreams come undone.
At this point, I had been out and about for quite some time and it was getting really hot.
It's hot. Yeah.
So I decided to start heading back to Nakano Station. On the way, I did get one more final shot of the morning. I like the mixture in the layers with all the greenery in the foreground leading back to the high-rise buildings. Plus, the guy with a hat just looks cool.
At the end of the road, just enough to go round.
Right, I think we're done for today.
Anyway, that concludes this lovely sunny session of photography in Tokyo. I hope you enjoyed coming along. I'm certainly so happy to be back and I look forward to sharing more in the future. Before saying goodbye, I would like to say thank you to the lovely people supporting me and my work on Patreon. Thank you so much to each one of you. If you're interested in Lightroom presets or tutorials and stuff like that, you can check out my page via the link in the description. Also, I have a print shop by the way, in case that is of interest to you, also in the description. With that said, I hope to see you again soon. Until then, goodbye.